Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Ow!
And welcome to the Seth Williams Show with Chris Aiken. How are you, my friend Chris?
I am good, man. Busy but good. What's going on?
It is a Wednesday afternoon. It's gorgeous outside.
That's right.
Actually,
nice.
Not really, but it's not snowing, so that's good, right?
Not complaining. Not complaining here. Not even a little bit, man.
Plenty to complain about, but not the weather today, at least.
Yeah. Well, dude, look, it's what, 40 degrees outside, and it feels like a heat wave.
It feels like a heat wave.
We've had so many days of like 10 degrees or whatever. So,
and it was like 50-some yesterday, and like I swear to God, you could still, in one area of my little cul-de-sac here,
yeah,
you still can't see the road because of the amount of snow that's still there. Most of it's melted. Most of you can see green grass, but there's still this mountain. Oh, because there was so much around here. But it's nice.
Well, that's good.
It's very nice. So I was talking to our buddy Jim Michael here a little bit on the Facebook this morning.
Okay.
I posted. You like my shirt?
I didn't even notice.
America shirt.
Oh, nice.
I don't have money for tires, but I sure got money to buy a shirt.
Damn right.
We're talking about the tires this morning, and it was not a good trip to the mechanic. If you missed the show on Monday, I had a flat tire, so I had to take my car in after the show to Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. I keep giving this guy plugs. He fucked me.
He did?
Yeah, didn't even buy me dinner, dude. Like, I thought you were supposed to, before you stick it in somebody's ass, aren't you supposed to at least buy him dinner?
I'm not experienced in this to know.
So I had a flat tire, and I had to take it in to get it fixed. And, of course, you can't just buy one tire. You got to buy two.
Of course.
And so, he fixed it, whatever. And I said, hey, so I got 2 new tires on there? He's like, well, if you want to call them new. He's like, you wanted cheap tires. They're about as new as they can. They're called new.
They're newer than what you had.
Yeah, they're newer than what you had. How much did 2 new half new tires cost me? Right. Like $240. Okay, fine. But so I get there, and actually before I get there, he calls me on my phone. He goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know when you get here, I got some major stuff to talk to you about."
Okay.
Like, why can't you tell me now? While I'm working on another car. So wait a second. You knew I was coming to get my car, and yet you called me to tell me that you have something major to tell me when I get there. So now I'm just going to worry about it all the entire way to the shop.
Right.
And I guess I should have. Because I roll up there, and he goes, I just want to let you know, man, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you have 2 broken control arms in the rear.
Oh.
I was like, well, what does that mean? They're both cracked. And he's like, I took pictures of it. Now, when you talk to Charlie's one of the best mechanics around, dude, I'm telling you. Sure. He ain't going to rip you off, and he's got good prices, and he's a straight shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing, and I think I've said this before on the show about mechanics, especially a guy like Charlie who knows everything that there is to know about cars,
sure,
is that he starts explaining this shit to me, and he's using words like bushings and this, and I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And literally, I'm sitting there staring at him, and he could tell that, like, I'm looking beyond him. I'm looking at a dude walking down the street. I'm looking at some chick walking her dog. I'm looking at everything I could possibly look at to say that I can't listen to you because I don't know what you're saying to me.
Sure.
He's taking pictures. He's showing me pictures of these things. I don't even know what a control arm is. I don't know what it does. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but he's showing me a picture. See this black line right here? It's like, yeah, that's a crack. And see how it all goes all the way down like the bottom almost? Yeah. Well, that's not good. Okay,
All right.
what are you gonna do? Can you tape it? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Can you use some
Duct tape
Gorilla
this
Glue?
like, don't you have a welding machine that's supposed to like keep the shit together? There's gotta be something you can do that doesn't cost me an arm and a leg, literally another one,
Right.
to fix the control arms. And he's like, no, these things are kind of expensive.
Great.
So I'm like, well, okay. And so this is gonna be like $500 or something crazy to fix these
Ugh.
rear control arms. And then he says, and just so you know, you're also gonna need to replace the front tires too, because it's going bad. Because the way that the control arms work, and blah blah blah, and it shifts your car this way, and then they're all wearing from the inside out now, and so again, words that I don't understand. Like all these words were like,
Right.
okay, you might as well just be talking like what Arabic to me, dude. I got no fucking clue what you're saying. But I know that every word that comes out of your mouth is labor that I'm paying for.
Right.
So then after the 2 broken control arms, then I need 2 new tires. After the 2 half new tires I just bought. And then he's like, well, on top of that, once you do all this stuff, because I have to push down this, that, I'm like, don't quit talking. What else do I need? Then you're going to need an alignment. That's going to be another $120. Okay, so all in all, I got to give you like $1,000 here in the next week.
Wonderful. I'm sure you just had that laying around on on the sofa, right?
It's actually stapled to my ass cheeks where I keep all my extra cash. It was on my other leg that they removed, and now it's gone. So
I can't find it.
Where my extra cash went now. Bastards. So this is exactly what I was talking about. I don't like going to the doctor. I don't like going to the mechanic because either way, I go in and I come out fucked more than I was when I went in.
Right.
Like I go in for something simple, and then I go out owing another $1,000.
Yeah, the mechanic is never. You never go in there and they say, "Oh, no money today." That does not happen.
No. I thought, okay. When I blew the tire, I'm like, all right, dude. I got AAA, so AAA is going to come over, put the spare on it, and then what's this going to cost me? $100 to get a new tire put on, or a used tire, or whatever, just something.
Mm-hmm.
No.
1,000.
$1,000. That's for next Tuesday. And then I said, obviously I don't have time because, look, I can't drive any other car because of my leg.
Right.
So this is the only car with hand controls that's in our house. So this is the only car that I can drive. And it's not like I can just go rent a car with hand controls in it, like right down the street. I mean, it's not easy. And so I can't get it done like yesterday. Or give it to him, leave it there with him, because my wife works different hours than me, and so it's going to be a pain in the ass. We can't work that out. I'm going to have to Uber back and forth to work.
Wonderful.
So I said, can I get it done next Tuesday? He's like, well, yeah, I guess. I was like, well, am I going to have to, like, pray every time I get behind the wheel of the car here that something's not going to happen or break, like, really bad on me? He goes, well, that wouldn't hurt.
Jesus, thanks, Charlie.
Right. Come on, man. You're supposed to be like, no, it should be fine until Tuesday. No.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, pretty much pray before you get behind the wheel of the car every time you got to go somewhere.
Dear Father, please don't let me find any potholes on the road. In your name I pray, amen.
That's what am I looking out for? I was like, can I get on the highway with it? He's like, yeah, you should be fine on the highway.
Yeah, as long as you only go 35, you'll be great.
He's like, just avoid bumps.
Yeah, avoid bumps.
It's fucking winter time in Cleveland. What do you think?
There's no potholes out there. What are you talking about?
Every 3 seconds is another bump. So now I'm driving like seriously like 10 miles an hour on Broadway Road, like trying to avoid anything that looks like a dip in the road.
You might as well just get out and push it because you're so scared to drive it.
So it's been a nightmare, but I guess I'm just hoping and praying. So I texted him last night. I said, dude, honestly, you need a new policy at your repair shop. Like, with every diagnosis and bill, you get a bottle of Xanax. Because that's what I need when I left the mechanic now. I'm scared to death to drive. I have no money. I mean, what do you want me to do here?
You're going to have to take a mortgage out on that house just to pay for your car.
Yeah. And I said, would I be better off buying a new car? And he said, no, not yet.
Okay. Not yet.
Not yet.
I still got money I can make off you. Not
Yeah,
yet.
it's like, wait till you give me the grand, then I'll tell you need to buy a new car.
Yeah. Yeah, once you give me the grand, then I'll tell you you got a blown cylinder in the engine or something.
Yeah, by the way, your transmission sucks. You need to get a new car.
Well, I can tell you what that costs. Since me and you have the same car, it's just a mere $7,000.
Well, then I come to find out that he doesn't like Nissans, and he says all Nissans suck ass.
Great.
And they're like really difficult to fix, and you have to spend a lot of money after they reach a certain amount of miles and all this. Like, God.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for telling me after you hit me for $1,000.
All that you're describing kills tires. I don't know anything. I don't know. Like I try to tell my wife, dude, I love Charlie again, but I can barely pump gas, man. Like I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to cars. I don't know anything about it. And so when he's describing all this stuff, I got no clue.
Right.
I assume that he's telling me the truth. I would trust Charlie. He's been there for me through numerous things. I mean, that guy has literally come out to my house to dig me out of snow. So, I mean, he's a friend, and I trust him. But it just sucks.
Sounds like your issues with God for fucking up your car.
Well, that might be it, too. But I'm not going to. Last time I mocked God on the radio, I got fucked. Like, my entire house almost burned down. So I'm going to
Jesus.
not go down that road. Did you ever heard that? I said something about God on a trip show, right?
Okay.
And so I was pissed because, something happened and I was just like, fuck God. I was really doing stupid stuff. I didn't say fuck. We're on the radio.
Right.
I said, do this and blah, blah, blah. The next day, in my bathtub, the water started coming up out of nowhere. And out of my toilet, out of my bathtub came water that started overflowing into the hallway. Water started from the upstairs apartment, came down into our place, and started overflowing my sink in the kitchen.
Oh, Jesus.
I literally had like Noah's Ark flood situation in my apartment after this happened. After I mocked God, I'm not ever doing that crap again.
That's crazy.
So that was my day on Monday.
Fun.
So today, get this one.
Okay.
I've been out of the hospital. It'll be 3 years in April
Okay.
since I had my leg removed.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a message from my doctor on my little My Chart thing, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it says, hey, I see that you asked for a refill on this one medicine that I'm taking. I said, yeah, I've been, yeah. Yeah, why are you taking that? I said,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because you wrote it. It's not like
it's been prescribed to me for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Since I was in the hospital. Well, that's for heart failure, and you have no signs of heart failure or any problems with your heart. Okay, well, then why the fuck am I taking it? Why are you asking me why am I taking it?
Yeah.
You guys have been prescribing it to me for 3 years.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
not
paying for it for 3 years.
It's not like you have a script pad there at the house that you're just writing out heart medicine for.
Every time I've gone to the doctor or needed a refill, I've called into this doctor and said, hey, I need a refill, blah, 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 whatever. And they've given me refills for 3 years. And I get a message today asking me why I'm asking for a refill. Why am I taking this? Because you don't have any heart failure. You should have not been on this medicine. Well, why the hell didn't you tell me that 2 years and 11 months ago?
And why isn't he calling the pharmacy and saying, hey, don't fill this? How about that?
She did this time. She said, don't get it anymore. Well, can I get a refund on the 3 years of every month paying for this?
Yeah. Well, you still took it, so. They'll say, no, you took it.
And is it hurting me? Am I going to have heart failure now for taking?
I've heard it causes seizures, Seth. I've heard it causes seizures.
I don't understand. I've been getting ripped off nonstop. Still better than a $700 car payment, I guess.
That is true.
Dude, my wife has the best car payment ever.
How much is it?
$198 a month.
Holy smoke. Is that a lease or a buy?
Buy.
When did she buy it? 30 years ago?
No. 5 years?
What is it? What is she driving?
Nissan Sentra?
Okay. $200 a month. That's pretty straight.
Yeah. I don't think I'll get that kind of a
No, you'll get the
I'll
$700.
get the $700 a month.
You'll probably get $1,000 a month because you got to put in the freaking hand controls.
Goals. Well, that's true. Well, I mean, to an extent. Like, I got some good luck too. I mean, everybody's got good and bad. It just happens that I'm hitting a bad spurt at this point.
Yeah, you're riding a what do they call that? The crest of the roller coaster. Before you go back up.
Hopefully. There's Mario. Hands2America.org. Yes, Mario.
Dude, next time I see you, I'm gonna give you a second monitor so that you can see.
I can't see shit, dude. Why? Because I keep moving forward to look at it?
Yeah, you're like all the way in. You can't see at all.
I can see some. These glasses aren't really good, though. They're I bought them for I went to Big Lots. Big Lots is going out of sale or out of business.
Are they?
Yeah, so they got this giant, huge sale going on.
Right.
And so these, I think, were like $5 to begin with, and I got them for $2.50.
Oh, what a bargain. Now, if they only helped you see, they'd be
great. If they only helped me see, they'd be fucking great.
There's been $250 for a pair of glasses that don't do anything. It's wonderful.
Well, they do. I just got to get closer. I mean,
you could do that without the glasses on.
No, I can't. How many years are you planning on getting? Man, I hope to get another 100,000 out of my car. I got 110,000 on it now.
You're hoping for the rest of your life in that car.
That's not true. No, that would make my life very minimal.
Not necessarily. If you're one of those 400,000 mile guys.
Yeah, right. Eventually, I'm going to have to get a new car. That's why I've been trying to keep my credit score at least somewhat good.
Sure.
I don't know what good credit is. I've never had good credit until now. Now I have what it says, at least on the, little Equifax, whatever crap you get or whatever it is.
Yeah, what is good? Like 750 and up?
I think 750 is excellent.
Isn't? Because I'm at 750, which I was stunned. I got one of those Equifax things the other day. So I was at 756, and I was like, all right,
750 and above is excellent. I'm at 732.
Considering at one point I was at like 380 or something. I'll take 7.
I was at 4.
I just had a spurt in my life where I was like, what can they really come and take? Fuck them, I'm not going to pay it. And I just like I ran up, and this was when my ex was in Korea and I was in Arizona. I ran up both an AT&T credit card and an MCI credit card for like $6,000 each. And I just walked away from it because I knew I was moving. I knew that the only address they had was Arizona and they were never going to find me. So I was like, fuck you. You eat them.
I did walk away from one credit card. What did I buy? I got my first ever Xbox on it.
Okay.
And then I went to one of these home stores and bought a couple of window air conditioners. I had just moved out of my mom's house, and so I needed some shit for my apartment. So I got an Xbox and window air conditioners.
Nice.
And I never paid the fuck of it. But at least I had some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I could tell you war story after war story about being irresponsible with signing my name to shit. Holy smokes. Me and did I ever tell you about when I first got to California with my now ex?
No.
We were both E4s in the military. This is 1989 or 90, something like that. I think 90. We get to California. Between the two of us, we're making about under $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
You're just not making any money. So what did we do? We get an apartment that was $1,600 of that $2,000 a month. Ooh. And then we just go shopping and buy everything on credit. And in 21 days, I completely furnished an apartment and bought a car on a credit card because I was brilliant like that. And Yeah, by about 60 days after I bought everything, I pretty much was like, well, I guess it's time to file bankruptcy because I can't pay any of this. I did. It had to be the fastest bankruptcy in history. I literally went from having no credit except for one credit card to bankruptcy in about 90 days.
Now, how long is it? How long does that screw you for?
Really didn't screw me for that long. I mean, we did the Chapter 13 deal where you like, I don't know what they did, but we got to keep everything. We kept every single thing, and we paid I don't know, $200 or $300 a month for like 18 months. We had a pretty good bankruptcy attorney. He worked it out to, to where we paid back like less than 10% of what we owed. And we kept everything. We kept even the car, everything we kept. And I don't know how long it really was. Dude, I know this. Within 2 months, they started sending me credit card offers again. They don't give a shit. They know if you're a bad risk, they want a credit card in your pocket because they'll get some money out of you. You know, they're more than happy to give you, oh, you just filed bankruptcy? Well, here's a $5,000 card at 38% interest or whatever.
See, I'm really trying hard to keep my credit cards. I got a bunch of credit cards.
Okay.
And I'm trying really hard, like, to not use them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a couple of dumb purchases I've made. Like, this last time after I got out of the hospital, it was Super Bowl Sunday. And I just wanted a good meal because I got shit meals while I was in the hospital.
Right.
And so I fucking bought like a $80 meal of pizza, wings, and everything else. They were feeding me chicken broth and Jello, man. I wanted something good.
Hey, you're hungry.
And so I bought the family. We got an $80 meal, and I didn't want to spend cash.
Yeah, I get it, dude. The only reason I've been able to clean up my credit, and this is the honest to God's truth, is because I have one credit card that I use once a year. I use it once a year. I keep it in a safe deposit box so it's not even tempting me to get to it. And once a year, and it's got like 8 or 10 grand or something on it now that I could use. But I do not use credit cards. If I don't have money, I don't get. End of story. That's it. And I went from, I think my literal number at the lowest that I ever saw was like 386 was my credit score. 386.
But see, I was always
homeless guys have better than that.
I was always told, though, that you got to like use the credit cards to build your credit score. You got to use the credit cards and then pay something and keep paying, spending.
Well, I do once a year I use that card, and I have my house. I have my mortgage. That's the only credit that I have.
And see, I talk about this stuff like I'm fucking 10 years old because that's what I am. Like, I literally don't know anything about anything. I know how to run a radio show. I can adjust the satellite in space from, a hallway and, for radio purposes. And I know stuff like that. But I don't know anything about credit. I know nothing about cars. I know nothing about
the only way you learn about any of these things is by having them fuck up. My credit was a disaster, so I had to learn how to fix it. With cars, I can't fix anything, so I feel like you with the car. I can't fix anything. I'm terribly awful.
I mean, the amount of credit I have right now is a decent amount. And, but I don't spend it a lot on, I don't use the cards a lot. And when I do use them, I pay off, what I can immediately. Yeah. Sometimes even if I have the cash, I'll pay or use a credit card and I'll pay the cash and, pay it off real quick.
Dude, I am the nightmare of credit cards. I'm the guy that gets a credit card and calls all his buddies to have a party because I have money. Dude, the first credit card I ever got, this is no lie, I was in Arizona. I get the very first credit card I ever got, had a $2,000 credit limit on it, right?
Yeah.
Maxed that son of a bitch out the weekend I got it. I went, we had a huge party where I paid for kegs and food and all this other shit. And then on the Sunday, me and like 10 or 12 friends, we drove from Fort Huachuca, which is right by the border, up to not Phoenix. What's the other one? The big one in Arizona, the big city, Tucson. We drove up to Tucson, which is about halfway up the state, and we recorded an album with everybody picking a song to sing in one of those. Remember in the old days, those karaoke type booths?
Yeah.
Well, it was $200 a song or something like that, and it was $150 a song, and we recorded 10 songs, and I put them on a credit card.
Jesus, dude.
I was a fucking idiot. I really was terrible with, and I've always been terrible with credit cards. Like I said, I had those MCI and AT&T cards. Was I even remotely responsible? Hell no. Yeah, here's the number. Just keep running it until they say, oh, this card doesn't work anymore. Then you cut it in half, throw it away. There's no bill.
Yeah, see, I can't. I'm trying so hard. I'm really trying because I've been tempted. You know, I want. There's stuff I want for the house. There's stuff I want.
Sure.
I want to just fucking just spend it. Like, don't do it. Like, quit thinking.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I did when I was 18. Quit even thinking about this.
Yeah. I'm the worst. Money and me are evil. I just have to keep making more because I'm never going to save any.
Yeah.
I tell my mom all the time, it doesn't matter how much money I make, I still have the same $800 available to me that I always did. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've gone to making mid six figures, like real money. And in my entire life, when I was making over 300 grand a year, when I was making huge, for me, money, the most money I ever had in my bank ever, 70 grand. And that was when I was making that every 3 months. And that was the most I ever had. And then I blew all that to build Pinball PA. We built Pinball PA and I just chucked it in like it was, like it was grass seed. Just here, let's get it done.
Yeah.
Don't care if I lose it, I lose it.
I'm so sad when I hear you talk about that kind of money because the most money I ever had was because of an inheritance because my poor mother passed away.
Right.
And we went to Vegas, Heather and I, and we got married out there and then blew it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I came back, I bought a sports car that I wanted, and that was the end of that money.
Yeah, dude. Some people are just not wired to have money. It drives my mom crazy. My mom, she retired as a career banker. She worked at National City for her whole 40 years of work or whatever. Like she had, but even today, she's 76 years old. She still rolls up to the bank every single Friday and throws whatever change she has in her pocket in an account. She'll literally put $4.32 in the bank because she's trained herself that way. And then she'll, at the same time, me and my brother, who've both done pretty well. My brother's certainly a lot better than me, but we've both done really well. And if we take my mom to dinner somewhere, she's whipping out the coupons like we can't fucking afford to pay for stuff. It's the dumbest fucking. We'll go to a restaurant or something. I do okay. My brother's a freaking millionaire, and we'll get there, and my mom will be like, "Look, I got a 2 for $1." I'm like, Mom, between us, we can afford an extra $20 for a meal. Just stop it.
Yeah, Jim says, do you have more than $2,000 in your savings account, Seth? And my question would be, what's a savings account?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't look. Radio business isn't exactly the most lucrative business to be in.
No.
And my wife busts her ass too. But again, she's in a business that again is not exactly a high-paying industry, and so we get by, and we get by all right. We still buy things that we want to have, but no, I mean, there's not like we have all this shit saved up. I mean, I wish we did. When I'm going to retire, when I drop dead. I mean, that's when I'm going to retire. I'm going to keep going into some office somewhere, whether it's Walmart or a radio station or wherever I end up working my life, and I'm going to die there. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for that too, dude. I mean, this is a total. I know we're all over the map today, but
unless that disability comes through, I'm going to die in a building working.
money don't mean a whole lot, though, man. I mean, I know there's that logic of, well, if you have money, then you have less problems or whatever. I literally this afternoon I watched on Peacock, maybe they had a new documentary about Matthew Perry,
Yes,
how he dropped dead,
yeah.
and this dude couldn't find happiness when he was making $1.1 million a week. $1.1 million a week.
Right.
And the guy had to overdose himself on ketamine. And I mean a lot of ketamine. Dude, they said the 3 weeks before he died, he did 27 vials of ketamine.
Wow.
In 3 weeks. It's like a whole vial a day.
That's crazy.
What the fuck? How could you be that unhappy when you're probably worth $300 million?
Yeah, I know.
Is there nothing you could buy? I guess the only thing he could buy that made him happy was drugs.
Drugs. Be careful, you get an Apple Pay credit card. Fucker's addictive. I just got approved for one of those.
Yeah, I always see that and just delete it. No, thank you.
Look, dude, I mean, people always say, what is that saying? Well, money can't buy happiness, but it sure hell gets you a lot closer, dude. I mean, it does. I mean, let's be honest. The more money you have, the better you can eat, the better medical care you're going to get, the better your car is going to be. Yes, money does buy at least some glimmer of happiness. Now, you know, I'm tired of all the bullshit. Well, it doesn't make you have a great family. Well, no. But, you know, if you don't have a good family, then maybe you suck as a person. But
Yeah,
money
you can have a good
doesn't help
family for free.
clothes.
There's a lot of people that have good families and have no money.
Yeah, yes, and it doesn't exactly make your family happy.
No.
Money does buy happiness.
I think money buys comfort. The happiness still comes from you. Because you could have all the money in the world, and if you're bored, you're not happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think happiness comes internally.
I don't know. I think that money helps. As a photographer,
But it doesn't hurt because you don't waste any time thinking about it. That's why I'm saying it buys comfort. Because
comfort to me is happiness.
I don't know, man.
Photographer, Tom's right there with us. He's not going to retire.
Yeah, I'm not.
Hope you're doing all right, Tom. Hope you're doing okay, Tom.
There's no retiring. What is that?
Look, I don't want to work for too long. I'm jealous of like my dad. My dad, you know, living a life. He's down in South Carolina. He's retired, and you know they do what they want to do. Goes to movies all the time and everything like that. And you know, I wish that I just don't see that lifestyle ahead of me. I just don't.
Huh.
I mean, unless my life drastically changes for the better as far as a job or income goes, which maybe it will. Maybe I'll find something that'll end up paying me. Maybe this podcast will end up taking off and we'll make tons of money doing it.
It's well on its way.
Oh, it's on it's on its way. We're almost there. We're
Almost there.
this far. But I'm hoping for the best and I'm trying for the best. It's not like I'm not trying.
Right.
I want to do better, but you know, it's not exactly clicking yet. But when I hear people that have lots of money bitching, it's like, okay, well, I mean, I know that money doesn't solve all your problems, but it sure does help. You know, when I sit there and I get these nutritionists that I have to fucking talk to about, you know, what I should eat better and all this kind of stuff to make your blood sugar better or whatever, and they say, oh, you got to try this food, that food. Okay, when I look up this food and that food, I looked up, they told me, oh, this bread, you got to buy this type of bread. It's really great for you. It tastes great, and it's got no sugar in it, no carbs, blah, 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 blah. Get this bread. I look up this bread. You know, you have to buy 2 loaves at a time. It was $29 for 2 loaves of bread.
Oh, no. Fuck
now, you
that.
think I'm going to buy $29 worth of fucking bread?
Of course not.
I'm pissed off when I go to Giant Eagle and I see that they raised the price to $3 for 1 loaf. I mean, I'm not buying $29 for 2 loaves of bread. You got to go to, like, what was that stupid Whole Foods? Everything there is like $20 a bottle for something. It's ridiculous. They want you to die. They make everything that is easy or good for you to eat really expensive, so you have to eat the shit. They want you to go to rallies, eat cheap burgers, and fucking die.
That's right. Yeah. You know, I don't really get upset or whatever about money. What does make me upset, if there is a thing that upsets me about money, is when people that don't deserve it have it. When I see a Sexy Red is worth $50 million or something, or Bad Baby or whatever, that makes me crazy. When these whores, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I agree.
That's when I
Same
get
time,
pissed.
I get pissed at myself then because I say, why didn't I find that niche in life? Why didn't I say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do this podcast, but on top of that, I'm doing OnlyFans porn. I mean, if I just did something out of the box, maybe I could make some money doing something different, and I'm not willing to try it. I don't know why, because I don't want to do porn.
It's too late now. You got to do that when you're 20s.
So maybe they found their thing, and good for them, I guess.
I don't know.
But you're right.
If their thing doesn't involve any sort of talent at all, that's when I get mad.
I get mad when I look at inventions and I say, why didn't I come up with that shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Believe me, I get mad when I see shit like DoorDash. I thought of DoorDash fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And so did everybody else. I don't want to make it like I was the one. Everybody thought of that. Tell me 20 years ago you weren't thinking, man, how great would it be if I could fucking call and get McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever delivered to my house, the same as a pizza. We all thought of that shit.
Yeah.
It's the guy that invested in it and made it work. That's the only difference. The guy fucking threw a couple bucks behind it.
Well, that's the other thing. You need money to make money sometimes. And, you know, so what if you're a poor, dumb bastard and you don't have any money to put behind an idea? Then somebody else takes it and makes millions of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, you can fight through. I fought through. I mean, I never had an investor on any of my businesses. Never. I just fought through. I just dug in, did jobs for, especially Aiken IT. Dude, when I started Aiken IT, I was 2 days from losing my house. 2 days. I was at 88 days without paying my mortgage. And I ended up taking a job, and the guy just totally fucked me in the ass with the job. He saw me on Craigslist. He knew I needed money. He convinced me to do 6 websites for him for $1,800, and I needed $1,400 or I was going to lose my house. So I did. 6 websites should have cost $15,000, $12,000, something like that. Should have cost $12,000. I did it for $1,800 because I was like, it's either that or lose my house, you know. But I dug in and found my way and lucked out. And
See, what worries me, what scares me, is that eventually, you know, the radio thing is it's either gonna take off for me, or I'm gonna have to find something else to do. I mean, it's gonna go away. I mean, most likely. I mean, I'm getting older, so it's not gonna take off. I mean, I've been in it for 25 years. I mean, I've made a decent living. It's not like I've made no money.
right.
So I've done okay, but I haven't done as well as I would like to, obviously. But I don't know what the hell I'm going to do after that. I don't know. I'm not qualified to do fucking anything. I mean, like, I'm not the sitting in office guy, dude. I'm just not.
Dude, you know what you need to sit in front of? YouTube for an hour a night. Instead of watching fucking Fox News or whatever, you need to take 1 hour every day and look at all the 9 million side hustles that are out there that people are making money doing. Most of them are with free shit now. Most of them are with AI. Teach yourself a couple programs with AI and start throwing up little videos or podcasts or bullshit, whatever.
But I don't know. I mean, how do you monetize this stuff?
You get yourself, you keep putting it on YouTube and
then hope for the best.
yeah, and hope for the best. That's what you got to do. Dude, I'm doing that right now with a little side hustle that I'm trying with this. Did I tell you about the Quick Kill Chronicles, the podcast that I'm doing with AI?
No.
You could do this. I mean, you could clearly do. Let me find one real quick. Literally, all you got to do is find the name of somebody that got murdered and throw a link into a program, and it'll spit out a podcast. Give it a couple instructions. So you put that up there. Quick true crime is a big thing right now. And you put it up there. Let me see. Let me find you one. Where's me some Quick Kill Chronicles here? Here's one. I'm gonna tell you the truth on this. This took me 10 minutes. Literal time, 10 minutes. Okay?
All right.
All it is a graphic. I threw in the name Micah Miller, which I found on YouTube as somebody that got whacked. Here it is.
All right, so you know those true crime cases that, like, at first glance, they seem pretty open and shut.
Mm-hmm.
But then the more you kind of dig into them,
Yeah.
the more you find out,
Yeah.
the more complicated they get.
Exactly.
That's exactly what we're doing today.
Okay.
We're diving into the case of Micah Miller.
Right.
And
So what is this?
That's a podcast. Talks for 8 minutes, seven and a half minutes.
Jesus, dude.
Those aren't real people.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
Alex Iverson and Alicia Iverson, the two AIs.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
And you do it in fucking seconds. Seconds. Dude, want to do one? We could do one right now.
It is nuts, dude.
This will make your head spin. I know I always seem to get into this AI stuff, but it's because I'm fascinated by it. All right, so here's all my... Let's create a new one. What do we want to do here? Let's do a podcast on... What's a good news? Scripps News, all right? Scripsnews.com. You like this story? Would you like it to do a podcast on this story here?
Yeah.
All right, let's copy the link. Not even going to click on it to see what it's about. I'm going to add a source to get started. I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to paste in a link. Insert. And now... Oh, did it not take that one? Now, let's see. Give me a 10-minute podcast on this story. I don't think it took my source. It didn't take my source. God damn it. Let's just do a different one. Let's do one there I know it'll take it. Hold on. Blabber. We'll do a music story. So we will do Billy Idol announces a new album. How's that?
Okay.
So we're going to copy this link address. We are going to add a source. Make it a website. We're going to paste it right here. Paste. Insert. It's looking it up right now. Found it. Good. So now we're going to go to the studio and we're going to say... We'll customize a little bit. Say the author or the speaker is Joe Williams, who worships his brother Seth. Please state that. The name of the podcast is Seth is God.
It's a good title. Good title.
Worship him. Worship him. Okay. And then we're going to just say, give us a 5-minute podcast based on the Billy Idol story. I'm going to generate. And we'll just wait a minute and we'll see what we come up with. And I mean, it'll be about a minute.
Jake says I should go up to Fiverr and do voiceovers.
You could do that too. Problem is this kind of shit's gonna ruin that here shortly, because this stuff is so quick and so easy to. I mean, it's just crazy how fast this stuff is growing these days, man. The AI is out of control. I mean, it really is, and I don't know of any tech thing. The thing that's gonna keep people in business is knowing how to work AI.
Yeah.
Just to be able to make images appear in your house, we don't know what to, yeah. Well, that's easy to do too.
So that you could do little videos about your losing your leg.
See, I like that. If I was going to do a business with you, Seth, me and you would be doing a 30-minute call-in podcast, the Survivor podcast. Because no AI is going to replace that. No AI is going to replace real deal going through some shit emotions. It's just not going to happen. And people, dude, I know this from my book. I have done speaking engagements and, appearances and book signings and everything else. Who the hell am I? I'm just some dummy that got burned in a steel mill. I just was able to talk about it a little bit. I mean, it's crazy. That is one of the very few places that if you're comfortable talking about it, then you go out and you talk about it.
Yeah. You know that I am.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's really lucrative, and I'll tell you what it is more than anything. It's rewarding. It is really rewarding when somebody hits you up and is like, dude, you really helped me get through. What is this? You'd be the perfect All right, you want to hear your podcast about Billy Idol?
Yes.
It's
quick.
ready. Oh, where is it at here? Here we go. Share. It's 8 minutes long.
All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about Billy Idol's new album.
Oh, cool.
Dream Into It. So this is his first new album in over a decade, and it's got some big names attached to it.
Wow.
Avril Lavigne, Joan Jett, Alison Mosshart from The Kills. So it's pretty exciting stuff. We're basing this deep dive on a recent article on blabbermouth.net.
Get out of
The
here.
album.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's just dive.
Get out of here that it's able to do this in like 2 minutes.
A minute, 2 minutes. And just
Dude,
like that.
Why are we
Yeah.
even doing this show? Why don't we just call it the Seth Williams Show with Chris Hagan? We'll tell what to talk
could.
about, and then we just put images up of us and take the day off.
Dude, well, let me just tell you this. I could take this audio, and then there's another AI out there that you can pick two guys or guy, girl, whatever you want, and just attach them, and it'll look just like a regular show. It'll do all the camera flipping and everything.
Wow.
I'm
This is
telling you,
nuts.
it's out of control. And I'm still probably an amateur level. Maybe a little more than that because I have studied it some, but I mean, dude, what did we spend on this? 2 minutes?
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like all the, because I listen to like a lot of podcasts and shit like at night.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder, like how much I'm listening to that's not actually true.
Dude, probably a ton. Why do you think a station, who was it that I won't use the real example that could get you in trouble. Any radio station that's had massive cuts and has gone to voice tracking and whatever,
Yeah.
you could easily use this right here. Tell it, give me excited reads talking about going into a new song from Jars of Clay or Plum or
Whatever. Yeah.
Stained or whoever it would be. And you could say, export, spit me out 50 clips. All of them are under 2 minutes. Take all that, probably take 5 minutes. Upload it to Prophet or whatever the radio stations are using these days. Fill it with songs. You got your whole day programmed. 5 minutes, probably 15 minutes a day.
It's funny because standing outside Detroit smoking back in the day, he would talk about this. He would talk about eventually AI is going to take over radio talk shows,
Oh, yeah.
and easily. I mean, with this kind of stuff, easily.
I think on some level, yes. I think the other level is there's always going to be an audience for like what we're doing where you get reactions. Like there's weird things about this so far, and they'll fix it obviously, but like sometimes I did one of these. I've been playing with this program for a couple of weeks, and sometimes it'll say stuff that doesn't make sense. Like I was doing one on some story about Sammy Hagar, and it said, "Oh, I saw him a couple years ago in a small club," and it's like, no, you didn't, because Sammy Hagar hasn't played a small club since the '70s. So stop it, But I mean, so sometimes it gets it a little bit wrong, but it will figure it out at some point. It's definitely going to figure it all out, don't you think?
You would think, yeah. I mean, if it's coming this far this quick, then yeah, I think.
Well, dude, look at how far this is from when me and you first touched AI. What, 4 months ago or whatever, with the music, with the Suno. This is 1,000 miles from that, and that's only been 4 or 5 months at the most.
This is kind of stuff that I wonder about everything. I know we were going to talk about concerts today. We can still talk about that for a little bit. We can. But and kind of going along that, I wonder if we're going to start getting AI concert stuff. Like, I wonder if you could bring back Elvis or Michael Jackson or something like that, do a concert where you got AI, whatever, hologram images and shit like that on the stage, and travel around the country with it.
I don't think you're going to see. I agree with you, and that is coming. There's already ABBA out there. There's already Kiss is working on it. There's a few of them that have worked. And I mean, have you seen the ABBA thing?
No.
Let me show you this.
I mean, I went to like a hologram studio. They have one actually in downtown Cleveland, and like where they developed that kind of technology, and it looked like a fucking dude was standing on stage singing to me in the crowd. It was unbelievable, the most unbelievable thing I'd ever seen. And they were just showing me like how it works, and it was truly amazing.
Well, here you go. Here's ABBA. None of it's real, by the way. So you can pay $75 to go to this, and there's no people on the stage.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't they start doing stuff like Elvis and bring back Michael Jackson and
see? I'm gonna
from the past. You put the Beatles on stage again.
They're going to. That is why you're seeing every one of these bands getting their catalogs bought up, because they're going to buy up their catalogs. They're buying up their likenesses and stuff. I don't think it's going to all come to the concert stage though, because that's expensive. It's expensive, and there's risk, and there's all that other shit.
Risk of what?
Somebody getting hurt, somebody falling down, somebody having a heart attack, somebody losing their hearing, whatever. What's really going to happen is this kind of shit. They're going to make these concerts like this, but it's going to be available in Oculus. So you'll put on your Oculus goggles, and you'll buy, since Kiss I know is doing it, we'll use Kiss as an example. They'll do a Kiss thing for every tour that Kiss ever did. And so if you want to see Kiss in 1978, you'll buy that tour, whatever record that would have been. But if you like makeupless Kiss, you could buy the Asylum tour and just plug that into your Oculus for another $25.
But I think it'd be cool to be able to actually go to like Rocket Arena now and see somebody huge that is no longer with us that I've always wanted to see my entire. I never had a chance to see the Beatles.
Well,
go to Rocket Arena and see a concert of the Beatles on stage.
But we're old. Kids today, not as driven to see concerts. The ones that are going to benefit the longest from this are not us. It's that next generation, and they've been taught that they can do everything at home.
But they spend $2,000 a ticket to go see Taylor Swift, dude. I think that,
their moms do. I don't think they do.
They would pay, it's got to be a cheaper thing to go see an AI, generated hologram.
I don't know. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying it's not going to have a long life. The long life is going to be selling. This is how the music industry is going to recapture itself, by selling these artists and these expansion packs. And at some point, you'll be able to program it yourself. At some point, you'll be able to, with your Oculus or whatever, you'll be able to say, you know what? I want to buy Dimebag Darrell and Kurt Cobain and, I don't know, Ginger Baker and somebody else, Jimmy Bain, throw a bass player in there. And I want to mix all that together and I want to make a band. So you'll be able to buy their complete sound set of what they do, and then you'll be able to mix it like we did with the Suno. Say, okay, make a song that uses all the characteristics of these guys. That's coming. That's definitely coming.
I don't know, man. I think the technology is kind of cool. I mean, this ABBA thing is pretty sweet, dude, but
yeah,
it can be a dangerous thing, I guess.
Oh, it's gonna wipe everybody out. I mean, dude, if you ain't banging nails or stitching heads, you are going to be out of it. And I question that the doctors are not going to get affected by this at some point. You don't think they're going to be able to do some kind of robotics with doctors for surgeries and shit?
I think they already do.
Yeah. I'm saying that they'll be able to do it without people. No human error.
Deftones and Nine Inch Nails. Ticket prices are crazy, $300 to $700. We were talking about this today. I mean, that's what I wanted to talk about for a little bit, anyways.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
With some of these ticket prices for concerts. I mean, I looked up, the band Shinedown?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you consider them a top tier band?
No. Second tier. Top of the second tier.
So a second tier band.
Mm-hmm.
For a side, of the stage, not on the floor. Talk about side of the stage, up a little bit, like in an arena kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The tickets are $300 a ticket.
Sure. It's crazy.
Not floor. I mean, we're talking side of the stage, up. And it's $300 a ticket. I mean, talking Taylor Swift. I mean, these girls are paying, or parents are paying, like you said, a couple grand.
Yeah.
To go see a concert.
Dude, they just announced Pantera at Blossom. The tickets for Pantera at Blossom are, I think, $300 to I think it was $975. $975 to see half of Pantera.
To see Pantera.
Half of Pantera.
Right.
Because the other half is dead.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I put it on my Facebook and a bunch of people bitched and moaned, well, if you don't want to go, don't go. I got that answer a lot. And it's like, you know what? I'm not going. I'm definitely not going. But until people stop going, they're telling everybody that they're rubes and that they can raise the money higher.
Well, I talked to somebody once to see Genesis or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they had nosebleed seats.
Sure.
And paid hundreds of dollars and sit in the nosebleeds, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's insane what they try. I like concerts. I love concerts.
Me too.
I mean, I worked at one of the greatest rock stations for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And went to every concert that I could possibly go to, thankfully for free, because I work for the radio station.
Sure.
But I love going to shows. I cannot afford to go to shows anymore.
I can't, dude. I can't and won't. This is going to be the first. This is going to be the first time that Pantera comes to a town that I live in that I'm not going. But I'm not going. It's twofold for me. One, I'm not willing to pay the money. And yes, I do know, because I know somebody's going to say it in the chat room. Yes, I absolutely could make a phone call and get comp tickets. But that leads into the second place. I'm not going to go to Blossom. I will not go to that fucking terrible venue. Especially now that it's been taken over by Live Nation. Fuck that.
I can't remember the last. I had to be working for MMS the last time I was there.
I hate it there. It's bad sound. It's not. Well, that's my one friend Jeremy hit on my Facebook and said, dude, you're complaining about this, but you could buy a cheap lawn ticket and then just get an upgrade when you get there. And I'm like, I am not going to buy tickets hoping to haggle my way into a decent seat.
Yeah.
That's not how I do shit.
I mean, I can't do the lawn now. I mean, I physically can't sit on the lawn the way that I am now. I mean, it would be a nightmare for me. Nor can I walk up and down that hill.
Well, and that's the whole thing too, is that hill is a bitch. Look, I know we're two fat guys, so us bitching about walking up a hill is taken on deaf ears. I don't care what shape you're in. That hill is a bitch. When I was in fighting shape, that hill was a bitch.
Right.
That hill, and certainly at a Pantera show where you're going to have a few road pops as well, coming out of there after 2 hours, 3 hours of Pantera metal,
Walking through that parking lot
and then walking 1.5 miles back to your dumb car.
in the grass.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The grass with all potholes and stuff in it and stuff. It's not good, man. It's not.
Dude, and I mean, frankly, I have a problem with a lot of these venues anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pain in the dick if you want to go to the Rocket Arena. It's a pain in the dick if you want to go. I mean, the best places to see shows anymore are places like the Agora. I love going to Roxino. Yeah. I love the Roxino. I'll go there all day to see shows.
Me too.
I was talking to a buddy the other day. Said that Gene Simmons is coming to the Roxino.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind going to see that show, but someplace I can't. I just won't go anymore.
I don't go, dude. I will not go to Blossom. I mean, Pantera is my favorite band ever, and I'm not going. I'm just not going. I chose to go to Detroit last year instead of waiting and going to Blossom this year. And I knew that they were going to be here this year. I had the heads up way in advance. I was like, nope, I'll go to Detroit. I'll go to Ford Field over going to see it here at the shitty Blossom Music Center.
If you could make a call that we could meet Phil, I'd like to meet Phil. I've never met Phil.
Phil's a good dude. Although their meet and greet is probably stupid price too. God knows what theirs costs.
I cannot imagine paying. Is it like the cheap seat, $300? You said?
Yeah.
Is it lawn?
I think yes.
I cannot imagine paying.
Fuck that.
I cannot imagine paying.
I mean, what is a reasonable cost for the lawn?
What do I think is a reasonable cost? 50, maybe. You're sitting on grass, dude.
No. Yeah, I mean but from what I understand, Live Nation will rent you a chair now in the lawn. Dicks.
Yeah. That's what I want, is a chair to sit on while I'm watching Pantera.
Yeah, that's what or getting hit in the head with one of those chairs as it goes flying in the mosh that starts on the lawn.
I will say, I think the last time I was at Blossom, right? The seats are too tight at Roxino. I know they are tight.
They are tight. Unless you're in the first 10 rows, then they're comfortable.
Yeah, they're comfy. That's why I haven't been to a Roxino show where I haven't sat in the first 2 rows. Or a wheelchair, which they hooked me up in the first couple of rows. Last time I was at Blossom, though, I went to see Kid Rock.
Okay.
And I had a fucking camper that MMS gave me to drive out there.
Sure.
And so I was sitting at the top of the lawn in a camper, and I had asked my wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, to go out there with me. And she did not, because she thought all I wanted to do was get in her pants. And it's like, well, of course. I have a fucking camper. I'm going to Blossom to see a concert. What do you think it's going to? There's a bed in the back of the camper. What do you think I want? I'm not hiding it.
That's right.
Oh. I don't know. I've been to a lot of Blossom shows. I mean,
I have too. I've been to a ton of them, man.
The ones that on the lawn, I hated every second.
I've never come out of a Blossom show going, man, that really fucking kicked ass. Never.
Not even in the pavilion. I sat in front row a few times in the pavilion.
I don't like the sound in the pavilion. A, it's not real loud, and B, it echoes all over the place.
Yeah, right.
If you're not in the first 10 rows in that pavilion, then you get that muddy, awful sound. I just don't like Blossom. I think it's a terrible venue.
I just don't like these. Do you think it's the artists that are ripping people off, or do you think that because of the fact that they're not making money off of CDs and everything else, that they have to charge so much for these tours?
I think it's both.
They're making their money.
I think it's both. The promoters The artists are not making money, so they're definitely, if they know that they have a heritage audience, a built-in audience, they're saying, look, I'm not coming here unless it's $200,000 in a venue or more, you know. But the promoters, they have no problem throwing that money out there, because the promoters will mark it up so that if they sell it out, it makes like $2 million. So it's a 90% markup plus concessions, which are out of control.
Yeah, they are.
You try to get yourself a fucking Budweiser, it's $30.
It's insane to get a beer. Yeah, it really is. It's crazy.
You know, and what does a beer cost? $1? $2?
Yeah.
I mean, it costs $2 to buy it in the store, but you can get it there for $30. And you still see people getting hammered. I blame the fans. I honest to God blame the fans.
For putting up with it?
Yeah, well, you just have to bite the bullet and say, I'm just not going to see these bands now. You really have to kind of say, I saw this band for $25. I am not willing to pay $2,500.
No.
And nobody's willing to do that. People just keep shelling. It's one thing, too, and this is what drives me the most crazy. It's one thing if it's the giant bands, the Metallicas, U2, Rolling Stones. I don't love all those bands, but I understand how they are in the pecking order of all time.
Right.
But when you see, like you just said, Shinedown
For $300?
$300, or Breaking Benjamin, or Korn, or Disturbed, or any of those bands, come on, man.
Yeah, Disturbed is coming to town for the anniversary of the Sickness.
Sickness, yeah.
And they're coming with a band I've never heard of before in my life. No, it was a band.
3 Days Grace and Seven Dust.
No, I heard a promo yesterday. You know who they're coming with?
Who?
Disturbed. No, all right.
Yeah.
For the Sickness anniversary. Daughtry.
Daughtry.
I looked at my wife. I was like, "What the fuck is this, dude?" Disturbed. Daughtry. Look, but you remember, dude, back in the day, people would go see bands like Zeppelin for less than $20.
Yeah, dude, I have a poster on my wall of Zeppelin, and from 1977, $4.50 at the Coliseum. $4.50.
So I've told you, my wife made out with Eddie Van Halen back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I found this out not that long ago. Because we went and saw that movie, Making of Led Zeppelin, which, by the way, is really cool. Good movie. Yeah. You could tell it's their authorized version of their lives, because there was a lot of stuff missing from, what that band was actually all about back in the day.
Right, sure.
But my wife actually went bowling with Robert Plant.
She went bowling or just shined his balls?
No, went bowling. Because she did not get to make out, but he did call her and her sister over to.
Did she stand up his pin?
No, I don't think.
No, didn't stand up his pin.
He bought her like a pop, dude, which is kind of
nice.
Cool.
I bet he did. Cream soda.
Hey, look though, she got me.
That's right.
How disappointed is that woman, dude? Hanging out with Robert Plant, Eddie Van Halen, and she ends up with this dick. Whose biggest purchase is a Gulf of America t-shirt. God, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Before you go to Tony real quick,
yeah,
I'm going to make a suggestion here.
Okay.
You might want to play our spot.
Yeah. Which one? Oh.
The one we need to play?
Yes. Take a quick break. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
We'll take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Tony Masaccio. And I did want to talk about the Browns for a quick minute before we get out of here.
Oh, do it on the other side.
Because Cleveland.com irritated the shit out of me with one of the things that they posted. So
well, we'll do it on mines.
But hang on. We'll be right back with Tony Masaccio.
When disaster strikes, we come together. Here at Mario's Barbershop, we've turned our passion into purpose. As Hands to America, a 501c3 nonprofit, we're on the ground helping those hit by hurricanes, floods, fires, and tornadoes, right here in northeastern Ohio and nationwide. But we can't do it alone. we need your help to keep this vital work going. Your donations, whether it's cash or vehicles, can bring hope to those who've lost so much. Join us in making a real impact. Every donation fuels relief efforts and helps rebuild lives. Call us at 844-864-2637 or locally at 216-520-1977 or visit us at handstoamerica.org to see how you can help.
Right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Hagan. Make sure you do that. Make sure you go to handstoamerica.org. handstoamerica.org. Donate. I know he's looking for people with campers to help people get people out of tents down in Kentucky and North Carolina. So Mario's a good person. Also, make sure you go check out his barbershop on Pleasant Valley and Broadview Road. It's in that plaza with the Acme. He does a great job with hair. I was going to get a haircut the other day. Didn't have time because he had a couple of people in there. It was busy. So check out his barbershop. Give that guy some business and give that guy some love with his charity. We certainly appreciate it.
I'll just tell you, Mario's my barber. Anytime I get my hair cut.
Yeah, I could tell. He does a great job. All right. Speaking of one of our favorite people, let's go out to Tony Masaccio.
Chris,
How are you, my friend?
how are you guys?
What's up, Tony?
Actually, I'm in the flats, and Chris, if you go to him as your barber, he'd go broke.
He might get carpal tunnel from cutting it.
God. You look like Rip Van Winkle.
I do. It's getting long now.
Holy shit, good for you. My hair was that long in the late 70s and 80s when I was the weed guy.
Right.
I could afford to cut my grass, or my grass, no pun intended, my hair. So, guys, I am in the flats. I'm actually at Lindsay Lake House in the flats. So, unfortunately, the beer place just closed up next door here. And I was going to go to Cocky Bagels, but they're not open this afternoon. Okay. So the reason why I stopped here, first of all, I was right down the street. I was at Tommy's this afternoon, which is in Coventry. I brought one of my workers, Anicia, and we stopped there for lunch. And, of course, they picked up the bill. It's nice to be Tony, which is wonderful. So I am here live in the flats, and I'm just going to go way back. Seth, remember when you used to work for Hooters?
Oh, yeah.
And they were here. They were unbelievable. They did so I sold them margarita mix at the latter part of when they were open.
Yeah.
And now they are going chapter 11 across the country.
Yeah. Are they really?
Yep. So you've heard of the old saying, belly up? It's boobs up.
Yes. I'm not really, I mean, forget about the fact that they had like hot chicks and stuff like that, but they really did have some decent food. Their wings are really good.
Their wings were huge. They had great wings. And in those days, again, they were a little bit more expensive because the rent that they had in the flats. But, when we were growing up, wings were 10 cents. You went out to eat and it was like $1 for a beer. Think of that. It's an insane $5. You got 12 wings for $1.20, a Michelob for $1.
I had wings last night, Tony. I'm not going to say from where, but I had wings from a place actually in North Royalton. And I paid $18 for 12 wings.
Yeah.
And guess what? No, years ago, those were the junk of the chicken. They just cut them off because obviously there was no meat on them. And that, that was the whole, now they're the appetizer. Now they're the big thing. And look at how expensive they are. Everything is, we talked about eggs a couple weeks ago where they used to be, 69 cents a dozen years ago. Mm-hmm. Now it's, people are fighting over a freaking dozen eggs wherever you go out to eat.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. So anyways, this place is really cool. They're actually known for their fish. They have 17 Creekside, which is in the flats. Which is in Chagrin Falls. They also have Cedar Creek, and they're opening up restaurants throughout the country. They're in Sarasota. They are in Miami, right out of Cleveland. This place is going national, selling, opening up these restaurants that are kind of like on lakefronts, like this particular place is.
And what side of the flats is this on,
So
Tony?
this is on the east side. This is on the east side of the bank, and I'm actually looking at the Music Box and Shooters, which now is opening up. Machine Gun Kelly took over that, and they're going to open up in the spring.
Okay, wow.
I'm not sure if he's going to keep the name, but it is going to be the same Shooters that it was. They're going to remodel the entire place.
Okay, wow, that's great.
So
With that place that you're at there, what is their deal? Is it alcohol, lunch, dinner? What are we looking at?
Yeah, they have actually a full bar. They have beer on tap. They have margaritas on tap, and it's kind of cool. You know me, the salesman that I am.
Right.
I stopped in here, and they do not have a flavored margarita. So I said hello to the owner and the manager, said who I was. I am going to be talking about the restaurant live on the air on a
Right on.
podcast. And I said, you know what? Why don't you have a flavored margarita? So we
Right.
never really thought about it. So, of course, I'm going to give them a demonstration of my product next week, and they're going to, everybody knows Tony soon as spring comes on this patio.
And once again, Tony will never pay in another restaurant in Cleveland.
I think got a good gig. So actually earlier I helped out, Edwin's is opening up. And again, this is my livelihood. They are moving from Shaker Square, and they are moving into the old Night Town, which is on Cedar, Fairmount and Cedar. They were open for over 50 years, Night Town. It was an iconic restaurant in the city of Cleveland. They opened up a few years ago, kept the name. They were only open for a year. They put over $500,000 into the place, kept the same decor on the front of the building, but in the in the kitchen part itself, they put $500,000 in the stainless steel. And it's not hard to do anymore in the industry when it comes to restaurant equipment. So now, fast forward, Brandon worked out a deal with them because his lease was up in Shaker Square, and now he increased the size of his restaurant. He's going to have a cigar bar. He's going to have a casual dining, fine dining, and he's going to have a huge patio. And they're also going to have jazz, which is what they were known for years ago, which will be really cool.
Tony, are people still coming out to kind of like you're describing, like the mixed that's like a restaurant and entertainment, or is that dying off somewhat?
No, you know what? That's a great question. I think it's actually become more popular due to the fact that the pandemic is over, and now this is our means of entertainment, Chris. I mean, going out to eat, obviously now you have Netflix and you can have everything in your television that you can watch. So, don't get me wrong, and I love going to the movie theater, but there's so much to do in Cleveland. I mean, you can go. I was just by La Patro this morning. I did the window cleaning there, and I was just thinking about it. I have not been to the art museum in a long time, which is, we have a great art museum in Cleveland. So, it's something to do. Obviously, going out is an entertainment, bringing a few friends or, the girls out or the guys out. And we have so many more opportunities now. Mm-hmm. The craziest part about it, though, and I go to lunch now. It's $100 for lunch with two people and a couple of cocktails, appetizers, and a pizza in Little Italy.
Yeah, that's why everything is so damn expensive.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It really
and you
is.
know what, guys? It's not coming down.
No.
You know what I mean? You can boycott, and that's not even in our vocabulary anymore. But we're not going to. We are going to entertain, and that is our means of our expenses. I don't care if you live week to week or if you are financially set. People are cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our era now, which is absolutely crazy, but it's true.
Yeah. Tony, what is the mood? And you talk to all these guys, especially in the restaurants in Cleveland. What is the mood now that it's pretty much a go for the Browns moving out? Are these guys scared? Or are they going to move?
Out.
Are they going to move with them?
You know what? This downtown is freaking out.
Okay.
But I told you about this before, where when the Browns left for 3 years, downtown still survived.
Mm-hmm.
But on those Sunday afternoons, even the fine dining places like Aqua de Luca would have a brunch there. Cleveland Chop House would have a brunch on Sunday morning and afternoon. You're going to lose that.
But it's 8 days. It's 8 days out of a year,
days.
Tony.
But it's Christmas for them down here. And I agree with you. But same token, they will be able to now market, hey, listen, come downtown and then go to the game. Or for those of you who are not going to the game, come down and party. We'll have televisions on because people are going to watch the Browns. I mean, we had a freaking season of 19 losses and we have a parade. Who the hell does that besides Cleveland?
Right. Here's the thing. You have 81 games for the Indians. You have 41 games for the Cavaliers. And then you have postseason usually for both those teams. And so you have plenty of games going on downtown that these restaurants and bars can take advantage of. Maybe they got to change their strategy a little bit. You can't have an entire downtown based on 8 lousy games a year. I mean,
you're right.
They're doing something wrong as a marketing if they got to rely on 8 days a year. There's a ton more to worry about when you go downtown. You got Playoff Square. You got shopping. You got all kind of stuff. You got stuff during the wintertime with the lights and all that kind of garbage. They got to start marketing better if they're going to have a downtown like that.
You know what? And then here's another facet of that where say that the Browns do leave and you have that stadium. Now you have the point where you knock the stadium down. You turn it into a Chicago where you have a waterfront.
Yes.
And you can have, and again, I mean, they have the Ferris wheel there. They have the huge aquarium there. Chicago's gorgeous. It has the same weather that we have. That can be a nice market of bringing people downtown again.
Tony,
here's another thing. You need security down here because people also look at, hey, listen, I don't want to go downtown because, you hear shootings and, whatever.
Tony, Triv and I went to a thing where they took Triv, of all people, on a tour of downtown Cleveland once. And this is over 10 years ago. And they said, this is what we're going to do. This is our plans for the waterfront. This is our plans for the lake. This is what we're going to do. They have this big, huge papers that they rolled out and showed us and everything else. And they have done nothing. So I can't blame the Browns for getting the hell out and going somewhere where they were actually going to be maybe taken care of a little bit better. Downtown, that city does nothing. The mayor's a joke, and they don't do anything for downtown. And I don't blame the Browns. These restaurants need to do things differently. We're going to lose money after only 8 games a year. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? And it's interesting that you say that because here I am on the waterfront, right here on the Cuyahoga River, and nobody comes down here. Again, it's 5 o'clock. There's 2 people sitting across from me at the bar.
Yeah.
They do not come down here in the winter because it's cold. Guess what? It's cold throughout northeastern Ohio. You can still come inside here, and it's warm because of the lake. Obviously, it does well in the spring and summer, but nobody comes down because it's cold in the winter.
You know why I don't go down there? Because it's expensive, Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, there's restaurants around here that I can go to, and I'm not driving all the way downtown to spend $30 on a meal.
And there's also not very much convenient parking, which is a big problem for the flats.
I agree. There's $20 parking, $10 parking right down the street from here. Yeah.
So my $100 meal went to $150 by the time I'm done parking.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know what? There's your happy medium. But I love coming down here in the summer.
Oh yeah, I mean it's great. I mean it looks beautiful.
2 ways about it. You go to Collision Bend. I sit at the on the patio. Have because I'm really not a beer drinker, but I'll have a great beer on or a glass of wine sitting on either patio. Alley Cat, of course, Shooters is going to open up, and I remember having a boat here in 1986, and it was, and Seth, there were hundreds of boats. On this river, hundreds of them, and I was one of them, dropping off pot to each boat, collecting $20.
There's that many people cooking with pots? What?
And speaking of pot, it's so funny. I was actually at Tommy's on Coventry this afternoon going to lunch. So I get out of my vehicle, and of course, you smell that wonderful aroma of marijuana. And I said, oh, you know what? It hasn't changed since the 80s. And now the dispensary is like right next door to Tommy's. How appropriate. You're hungry, and you have a little toke, and then you're walking in.
I love that place. So I love Tommy's in Coventry.
Yeah, they do a great job.
When I was growing up, Tony, Coventry was another place because I grew up in Cleveland Heights.
Sure.
And so Coventry was like the place to hang out with Record Revolution over there, and you had Tommy's, and you actually had a store called Condemnation. It was all condoms, and then they had a theater there. It was a great place, man. It was fun to hang out in Coventry.
That's funny. So, All right, next week, I will actually be, I'm going to be at a brewery. It is going to be Richfield Brewery. It's a brand new location. The guy has a winery, which is across the street from Blossom Music Center. And he opened up this, like, 15,000 square foot brewery with, kind of like a Hofbrauer house. It is wonderful.
Is that on Broadview?
It's right off of, it's in Richfield. Right on, yes. Brand new.
I thought I saw them building that on 176 there, right in Richfield. Yeah.
So I stopped in. I got the window cleaning account, and I said, "Hey, listen, let me feature your place."
Yeah.
And the
awesome.
guy actually heard me in Trevisano.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
So that's the cool part about it.
That's fantastic. Great. Looking forward to that.
Yep, guys. I will talk to you soon. Have a great week.
You too,
All right,
Tony.
Tony.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And there goes Tony.
There goes Tony. He didn't end with a joke like he normally does.
I know. His food must have been getting cold.
It's sad though. It really look. I mean, it looked like a great place wherever he was at, but I mean, it is sad that the flats are like that, dude.
Yeah,
like
well,
two people
dude,
just
it's-
hanging out.
I know for me it's the parking.
Yeah, of course, parking sucks.
It's I mean, in the summer, in the $20 to park, because you'll stay down there for 4 or 5 hours, just kind of walk around, do like a beer crawl or a food crawl or a both crawl.
Right.
But in the winter, dude, you go down there in the winter, you're going to one place and you're going straight to that place.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking cold.
Yep. All right, it's time to wrap everything up. We appreciate everybody listening today. It's time to head over to Minds.
All right, let's do that.
Minds.com/Seth Williams Show. If you haven't signed up yet, which apparently a lot of you haven't, do so. It's
Yeah,
$5 a month. I mean, it's less than, look, a cup of coffee is going to cost you $6 a day.
That's right.
$5 a month ain't bad for extra content.
Right. That one day you can drink Dunkin' coffee instead of Starbucks.
So we will be over there shortly.
Yep.
But I want to thank everybody for listening today and this week. And God willing, we'll talk to you again on Monday with the regular show. Have yourselves a good rest of the week and a good weekend. And we will talk to you later.
See ya.
Maybe. If I hit the song. All right. Now we're going to try this again.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.